All right. I think I'm audible. Okay. I'm not even sounding terrible. I mean, I've sounded better, surely, but I don't sound bad. Um, we're gonna go ahead. I guess I have to share the screen, don't I? I just remembered I need to check my emails. Hold on. Okay, so that's not supposed to arrive for a while then. Okay. That's email number one. Uh, 128 emails? Oh no. Why is the Subway email called Sub Club? Get me out of here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't need emails from Uber, actually. I probably don't need email from Zaxby's either. That's a receipt. Move to receipts. That's fine because we went through the receipt. That's fine because I was the one signing in. I really don't need emails from LinkedIn either, but that's fine. I don't want emails from Eventbrite. The rest of that's fine. We're gonna close that out. Hope it helps a tiny bit. A tiny itsy bitsy little bit with everything else. And then I guess to do it justice, we're gonna go ahead and yep, that was the right one. First try. I guess I probably do need the bitrate to be visible. But yeah, today I want to work on this. Name not final. This is a deck that I made. I played once and I just never picked up again. Um, Grid. Grid is good because it lets me read all the cards, but it also doesn't let me show a lot of the cards. You know, win-loss scenario. But we're making a commander deck. It's going to be based around our lovely friend Cormela, Glamour Thief, and her thing is one, she taps for two more mana than she needs to tap for, and then when she dies, you can return an instant or sorcery from the graveyard to your hand. You can only use it an instant or sorcery, so we want a lot of instants and sorceries, and I think the part that I want to lean into um, really is going to be the taking things back from the graveyard. So you'll see, in order to do that, in order to take full advantage of that, I need stuff that goes into the graveyard, and I think that's mostly what I'm missing. I probably so there's a lot of subtypes I put in this deck. So if we go into categories, you'll see that I have a bunch of assassin cards where it's like, yeah, it's cool that I have all these assassin cards, but I don't have enough assassins cards to like justify Poison Blade Mentor. Um, and also there's one that should be in here that isn't because it's just such a good defender. Like this is a good option, but the other one's even better. Um, like, and then once I start getting rid of assassins, I have to start getting rid of more assassins. Like, I think, I don't need Achilles and I don't need Ezio. I I don't need Hookblade Veteran really. Like, pretty much the entire assassin subtype I think can just be removed from the deck, right? We're not gonna fully remove anything. We're just gonna move it over to the sideboard. Just everything goes to the sideboard that isn't staying. We're using Architect because I really like Architect. And you're only hearing my voice, but I'm listening to music because I'd go crazy otherwise, most likely. Um, I don't think I'm too quiet, but if I am, let me know. That stands true at any point in time. I want to move you to sideboard. Now, I do like this card. Some of these are going to be vibes based, right? Like, unless I add more assassins, all of these are, like, for sure getting removed, I think. That's the thing. I could just lean really far into assassin, and that would be entirely doable. Um, So I'm not going to get rid of Assassin as a category. Hookblade Veteran is fine, but it's an attacker. It's just a flying attacker, and it's only flying when it's attacking. Why are you stuck on the moon? Have you considered not getting stuck on the moon? Oh, that's a much better way to have that set up. Yeah, now chat is like more in my line of sight. Don't you have to be in the rocket to start the rocket? Who did you let fly the rocket away from you? This must have been intentional, right? Do you play Magic the Gathering? Will you be helpful in this? I also have a lot of cards to look through. So some of this is just gonna be me looking at physical cards and like saying the names of things that sound interesting. I'm gonna put those in the maybe board. Then we'll figure it out. Um, is the I guess it's only 3 mana. Has a menace and it gets a bunch of stuff. Okay, that is a good card. Black Bloom Rogue. That is a good card. I've decided. Um, I don't have enough life gain for basically any vampire stuff to matter. I also think I'm using like a bunch of terms wrong. I don't have as many rogues as I thought I did, which is very interesting. How many bugs do I have? I think I set it to be just bug. Bug. Okay, I don't have as many bugs as I thought I had either. But I think what I'm probably gonna do is increase the amount of bugs to offset the amount of assassins, or increase the amount of assassins to offset the amount of bugs. Wrong game, but I like where your head's out. Um, so I'm gonna go grab the cards that I'm thinking about putting in here, and we're gonna start there. I do have a list just like right here immediately in front of me of cards that I'm probably going to put in. So I've got, and this is where we go and start adding stuff to our maybe board. Add card to maybe board. Recover. Um, Haunted. Graph. Blood Beckoning. Um, Now I'm thinking Graveshifter is a little less likely, like just because I'm not really running 3 different anthems anymore. Nim, Devourer. I They're adding a card actually that's like the best version of Pot of Greed, and it might be one of my new favorite cards to the point that I kind of want to like make just a mono blue deck. It's called Mathemagics. It hasn't come out yet. Supernatural Stamina. Um, Restart Sequence. That one's much better if I go with Assassins over Bugs, because free running is just a really good mechanic. Order of Midnight and Alter Fate, and then Solstice Revelations. And that's that list there. I've got a few more in a box somewhere. I think it's this box right here. I have all these cards in, and that would be correct by the looks of it. Okay, some of this is what I'm looking for, and some of it I am gonna need to keep looking. But I am gonna look through these because there's some new cards that I haven't actually seen yet that I got as a gift from someone very close to me. That is a white card. White, white, black, white, dual color. I guess Frodo is actually dual color. Unfortunately, just due to the manner of this, um, due to the manner and such of this, I don't think any of these cards are going to vibe particularly well. Also, I'm just gonna stack things that don't count rather than splitting them into their colors entirely, just because I think that's a bit of a hassle. Okay, so this needs to go back in the box, and we're gonna look. Okay, so there's a lot of warriors. I'm like sure of this. That one's not very helpful. Ooh, I do like that as an option, kind of. Oh, and it costs. Okay, that's interesting. I think I've already got Evolving Wilds. Do I? Okay, I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have an Evolving Wild. But I also don't think I particularly need one because um it's not landfall. That might be nice. That's not very helpful. That's not very helpful. It's a little bit of graveyard synergy. That's destruction with a little bit of synergy. Um, that has enters the graveyard, like an enters the graveyard effect, I guess. So I guess there's really, what is that? One, two, five cards, maybe. Okay. We go and actually, no. Um, Gothmog. Their downfall. Okay, these three, really, now that I'm looking at them. Because the other ones, it's like, yeah, Tempts the Ring is cool as like an extra thing. Tempts the Ring really isn't good. Like, it's not particularly good to have a ring bearer until like Tempts the Ring 3. And at that point, your ring bearer's probably died. So you're gonna get the 4, and then everything else is just gonna let you switch who your ring bearer is. And usually in Commander, I feel like you would have your commander as your ring bearer, but our commander kind of wants to die in this instance. I know. Deeply tragic. But now here's the actual cards we were looking for. Okay. The Skitter Sneak is a human rogue, which is interesting. Oh, this is actually a full deck. So we will not be touching that. Instead, we'll be moving to something different. That deck hasn't been sleeved yet, is the big thing about it. Really, I should sleeve it. Bully. Okay. Um, let me go grab the box. We're gonna do this the real way. Can I put this down in a way that shows off the heft of the box? I don't know if that picked up. I think it did, most likely. Just because of how loud it was on my end. I think this is gonna be all. I also think that I could put this box here as a placeholder while I check. Yes, it is, in fact, what I was looking for. See, what I think really needs to happen is that a lot of stuff is going to have to switch around. I need more desk space, but things can sit in my lap, I suppose. Some of these are going to be helpful, some of them aren't. Some of these I probably already have. Okay, we're just... We simply are not gaining enough life for most of these cards to be beneficial. I could get more life gain and move towards life gain synergy, because I already don't really have Anthem synergy. I could lean into the vampire, get the life gain sort of stuff, which still leans pretty hard. That has life gain. I probably have this one already. Yeah, we could lean real hard into vampires. Just like a hard pivot into vampires and assassins. Anything with free running is going to be pretty immediately helpful. Serrated Scorpion is just a good 1-mana card. Charger has Escape. Brotherhood Ambushers. Okay, and then a bunch of cards that reward that life gain. I want things that have discard abilities also, if I can find and manage that. It would be it's just so expensive, and for what? It's a 5-mana destroy target creature with a very specific, like, benefit. Now, I guess technically, I suppose technically, there's a certain thing to be said about I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm a little all over the place right now. Vampire Knight. Opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Sacrifice, Vampire Rogue. Interesting. Discards 2 cards, mills a card, loses 1 life, 1 target opponent, and you gain 1 life. Okay. Creature sacrifice. Um, Hired Blade. I think we want. Ooh. Top 3 cards library and graveyard. Exile creature enchantment card from graveyard. If you do, create a token. Okay, that's for zombies. We're not really doing that. That would be card draw if I needed it. I don't really need it. Dark Revenant is not a very good rebirth sort of thing. Interesting. Okay. That's just a fun card. Heartstabber. No. No. Be in this pile. Contract killing is so fun, but it's still so expensive. Oh, no. I guess it has flying. That's not really a big deal. Interesting. Okay. That's losing life. I don't want to be losing life. That's multicolored. Okay. I think that's most, if not all, of cards. These came out of a box that I have lost, misplaced. Here it is. Okay. Pick this up. Put it in there. These are so the non-lands, okay. What's that? 6 over there? Yeah. too. Almost helpful. Okay. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and look at... Is that the colorless? My colorless collection. It's a little bigger than I thought it was. Not much, but still. And then I guess I'll rotate that way. I doubt any of these will be what I'm looking for. I'm never against an arcane signet or a towering viewpoint, because I love both of those very much. That might be helpful. Forgotten Sentinel is such a sad card compared to Myriad Construct, which is very unfortunate for it. I keep just remembering this isn't red-green, because I keep almost grabbing green cards, and this is in fact not that. It's also not white. It's everything but those two, in fact. Many would say that that means that it is not those, and I am inclined to agree. Okay, do I have any special lands that might be helpful? I don't even like non-basic lands, is the thing that's important to know about me. Like, I really just don't appreciate them in the way that I think you're meant to. Like, I don't like the thriving lands. If I can find one dual land of each color duality that adds a life, that's really all I need, because if we're shifting more towards like assassins, vampires, life gain, then that's what we need. I still don't like Evolving Wilds. I still don't like the Thriving Lands. Sunscorched Desert isn't particularly helpful, because it's not like I need colorless for anything. Even if I did, there are better ones. No, like all of these are green. To get the one that's you sacrifice it to draw a card, but I don't actually have a way to get lands back from the grave, so I don't really particularly want to fill up on sacrifice lands, you know? I say, talking to myself in a way that's probably not even audible on the microphone because I'm kind of talking downwards, and I know that. It's a terrible habit of mine, but you know, what are you gonna do? Okay, there we go. Green, that's green. Blue, green, green, white, green, green, red, red, black. There's some green there, there's white, red, white, 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 blue, white and green, blue, green, red, 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 blue, green, white, white, green, 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 blue. Okay. And then I guess I should probably go through all of my monocolor again. But I think I've got enough cards to kind of littering the area in front of me for right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just like sort of. It's literally just a pile of cards right now. I think I can, like, for sure get away with stacking it. This is not going to be artifact heavy. I can tell you that much with pretty certain confidence. I don't see where a need would come from in regards to that. I just think some of these are already in here. Like, um, I don't know why that's here. This one should not be here. I don't want it. That's another thing that's gonna happen. I'm just gonna see some that are like, I actually don't know why that one's here. Um, and which is just a fun card. Blood glutton. Um, no, 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 no. I'm genuinely surprised there wasn't a murder in there already. This one. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, okay, that's beneficial. That's a lessons legendary. So no. 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 Okay, this is a good one. Okay. Veto. Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Some of these are becoming like increasingly obvious for like, oh, I can see how this would work. Haste. Another target creature with 2 or less can't be blocked. Discard your hand. A lot of my creatures are too big for that. No. Troublemaker might be interesting. So we'll go ahead and Freak Troublemaker. No. 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 It's like the worst card ever, maybe? Nope. That's just a good card. I'm gonna add it to the stack for the other deck. And then that is just a really big guy with hexproof. So like could have been worse. Big egg. Is it expensive? Yes. Would it be really funny? Relearn. I don't actually want to put that one in there. No. Ooh, it's got land cycling. And it's just a nice creep, no. That's fun, but again, I think that's more fun for a different deck. Yeah. Discard a card if you do draw a card. Okay, also just sort of something that'll be more interesting at later points, I think, or in a different deck. This would be good for the other one that we're not going to talk about because I'm kind of taking it apart. So actually, I'll slip this in there. See, the design philosophy of that deck is like working against itself. Forced discard, not very helpful. Epic. Pick your blood. Brotherhood ambushers. Charger. Serrated Scorpion. Merciless Harlequin. Okay, we already have a murder in here. There we go. Sorry. Brotherhood. Patriarch. Light Priest. Okay. Feed the swarm. Water skin. Signet. I'm pretty sure this deck already has an Arcane Signet, if I'm being entirely honest. Ashiok. Forerunner. I think some of these are, in fact, duplicates. Auto ambush. Student. Sorry. It's acting scream. Memory. Abandoned attachments. One is Vortex. Bells. Heartstabber. Mosquito. Mark. Painter. Aristocat. Mind. Green. Okay. Morbid. Morbid Curiosity. Blood Letter. Ferocious Vampire. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to switch back to stacks, I think. We're also going to grab this and we're going to put it in the box for all those other cards that need sorted properly. Because some of those are just going to need to be sorted again. Quite simply. Now, as you might remember, we are kind of choosing between Assassin and Bug. at this point. And if I'm being entirely honest, I think I'm fully okay with going with Assassin instead of Bug. One, I don't really like bugs. Two, I like Assassin's Creed. Which I do believe means we're gonna have to go into tech for the first time, make some cuts. Um, okay. So what we are going to do, because I do not particularly feel like looking through the entire deck right now. So first things first, we're gonna take all these cards that are going in those other decks and move them somewhere separate. Second thing second, we're gonna go ahead and pull some cards that are in sleeves out of those sleeves. As to not get super confused. Hold on, I should probably Magic the Gathering. Okay, I'm gonna remute myself. I don't want to listen to myself talk. People don't even particularly want to listen to me talk right now. Okay, there's my stack of cards that might go in. We're gonna start by taking out Skittering Heartstopper. Okay, I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and start by just removing every single basic land from this pile. Right? While we're doing that, we're gonna remove our bugs, basically. That's a human rogue, which still surprises me. So islands. Shock. Fort. Swarm being bees. Which is such a fun card, and it is a little sad that I'm gonna be removing it. The infestation. This is getting removed because it does not give you life. This is getting removed because it does not give you life. This is getting removed because I do not like the thriving lands. This is a mountain. That's an unknown shores. I actually don't mind unknown shores. I am going to put it in as if I'll make another pile of the non-basic lands that are staying. There's not a lot of counter spells in here. I think we're adding a few, but still. Cinder Barrens does not give you life. Swamp Mountain. I love this. Rakdos Guildgate does not give life. Wriggling Grub. I think there's one more. I think it's Endless Cockroaches is the one that I haven't managed to get. There's supposed to be 5. I have not gotten 5. I've only found 4 of them. And it is, in fact, Endless Cockroaches. Is it still in there? Okay. It's always worth a check. There it is. Endless cockroaches. Okay, now we're gonna go over here and we're fully just gonna remove, 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 and remove. We're removing bug as a category, which means we're going to take all of these cards and we're going to begin our cut pile. We are also probably going to remove quite a few of these dual lands that are not very helpful until I can get access to versions of those dual lands that give life. I also might go grab there's a land in here actually I might grab because I'm remaking this deck in its entirety anyways. I probably should have looked at these to begin with. Okay, most of those are basic lands. Adventurer's Inn is what I was looking at. Okay, let's see. There also might be some of these relics and artifacts and amulets and such that might be helpful. So we're going to go ahead and go through the blue and the red part of this deck also. So go ahead and move all the green, although some of that is definitely going to go either back in or into Roxanne. That one might be nice. That one might be nice. The thing is, all of these are good cards, really. Okay, I'm actually just going to grab out all of the cards that technically work. And we can look through those as we see fit. Nope. Yeah. No. Okay. Some of these are pretty cool. But I don't know how well they'll fit. So it'll depend. We're gonna keep Dismal Backwater. We're gonna keep Unknown Shores. Like pretty immediately, those are staying, along with all of the. We might have to change the land base at some point, but all the basic lands are staying. And we do have a bunch of non-basic lands that we've got to look at now. We also have a bunch of assassins. How many did we just remove? We're at 90. We can put like all of these back in. Just remove the sideboard. Tag. And we've still got room for more. You just remove the sideboard tag. And that is perfect. Because now, if 5 spaces left, how many lands do we have? Do you think our lands are fine? We've got 28 lands. Really, I should add like 3 more of each. Or 1 more of each. Basic, right? More than that, because we're getting rid of... And I'm going to go ahead and remove them. Somewhere I need to write down the amount of lands. We need to add 1 red, 1 black, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 blue. So 2 red, 2 black, and a blue. 2 red. 2 black. and a blue. And I think that will offset. But what land is that? Is it? It's a red and black. So we're actually going to remove a black. And we're going to remove Submerged Boneyard. Thriving Bluff. Rakdos Guildgate. Cinder Barrens. And Highland Lake. And we will add automatic category. Adventurers Inn. Okay. What was it? 2 red, 1 black, 1 blue. Which I think I can pretty easily grab. They're all right down here. Entirely forgot that all of my cards are sitting at my feet. Yeah. Two mountains. 1 swamp. And 1 island, if you'll please. Perfect. Now the physical deck is matched up to the online, or it should be. Still a few cards short, like total, and then we are doing cuts and just shifting stuff around. Really, I should probably just add more land. You know? But yeah, it is now lined up fairly well. Categories. Okay, let's start with those assassin cards. Speaking of assassin cards, there's an assassin card that I know I have somewhere that I didn't find earlier. There's also, what is this? A bunch of white and a bunch of red. I'm not gonna look through it. I don't think. Okay, I'll do a quick look. Artifact already in there. Pirate, no. 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 Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but if I can find all the black cards, I'll find my 1 mana little section. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. See, the thing that I thought I had doesn't seem to be in here, which is concerning. But I am finding more interesting cards that might be fun. But I think I will look at those later. Mostly because I don't feel like looking through another, like, 100 or two. Blue and red cards. All right. Well, I will go ahead and add it to the maybe board along with all of these new cards that we want to look through. And I do want to grab our lovely skittering Heartstopper and slide it into our currently unselected pile. Okay, but Purple Pentacles, Heartless Act, Oathsworn Vampire, Okay. Loggy visions and move to maybe board. Move to maybe board. Both. Move to maybe board. And then our lovely okay. See, it says it's 95. I'm gonna go ahead and count because I feel like that's wrong. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. 67, 68, 69, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. I'm 5 cards short. 5 lands short, to be more specific. Do I have sleeves for this? The answer is yes, I have the sleeves for this. And I am, in fact, a fool. I don't know what I removed to make that happen, but there's just 5 extra sleeves, and that's okay. Okay. Just straight up, no, that's not even the right colors. But Commander Sphere might be nice. Idol of Oblivion is not going to be very helpful. Either is Relic. Amulet. Treasure Keeper is fun. Arkansas is already on the list. Commander Sphere on the maybe board, I guess. Sphere. Okay. I will go ahead and leave it right here. Cool, 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 cool. So I didn't do my math wrong. I just didn't see the 5 sleeves. One, two, the 5 sleeves just sitting out. And that's okay, I think, sometimes. Okay. If I was going to do this properly, I'd go through, sort every single card, figure out what works and what doesn't. But I think what's more important at this point in time is to figure out how important specific cards are. Okay. It's not specifically mill. Gains loyalty by putting cards into the graveyard. Loses loyalty by giving me control of the graveyard. And then if I manage to get enough, it also gives me control of everything that somebody has. Overall, really good. The sort of thing that you want to get every time. Swimmer Nightmares is just like a nice little bonus to that, but not nearly as... I'm gonna start switching these colors to be like, do I need them? Or how important are they? Okay, I'm gonna... No, I'm not gonna do that. I have all these cards. That's why I'm looking at them. How much draw do I have? Okay, I don't think any of these categories are helpful to the point that I feel like I have to go back through every single card and figure out the categories again, which is not good. Hypnosis as a category is not helpful. It's a bonus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into here and I'm just going to yoink that away. Yeah. I don't need anything to be like, oh, this one also lets me scry. Now, I do like color shift as a thing. Tokens, probably not very helpful. Sacrifice. I guess technically. I have a lot of draw cards. I don't see it as a category. Here it is. Like, I've got a lot of it. I'm okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go through by type and by value and a value. And I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna be like, what is helpful and what isn't. Okay. These are both mana rocks. This one gives you a colorless, this one gives you one of any color. When it enters the battlefield, graveyard to the bottom of library. This one, when it enters, gives me life. Life gain is going to be helpful. This is some utility. I don't need to be cutting artifacts. I already have I only have 3. Really, I have 4 if you count Scrapwork Mutt, but I don't think Scrapwork Mutt is going to make it. I'm actually going to go ahead and just move it to the sideboard. I don't see me... I don't think I ever use it. Okay, when I'm taking something out, but I'm not sure, it's going to go to the sideboard. I don't have a lot of sorceries. This is one of my favorites. I think for instance, I'm not going to do as well with damage instants as I will with counter spells. So I think I want to move things like shock also to the sideboard for now. The Pyro Helix, stuff like that, move to sideboard. I'm not sure how this deck wins. There's fun interaction between Sir Conrad um, and Peer into the Abyss, which is fun, but it is really I need less enchantments. I'm going to have creatures. Like, to put it bluntly, my plan with this is to get a bunch of creatures, use those creatures as fuel, and then bring them back anyways. So I want sacrifice spells, I want things that'll bring them back, and I want life gain. And everything else happening is extra, right? So, I could probably leave both for now. What, I have like eight open slots minimum. How does delirium work with commander damage? Delirium MPG. Does this deal commander damage? It is delirium, right? Yeah, delirium card. There we go. Combat damage. Okay. So delirium does not do commander damage to someone, but it can still kill them. And that's the sort of thing that I want. Thrill of possibility. Oh, it's part of the cost. Mm. I think that makes abandoned attachments better than thrill of possibility because it's optional and also because it's easier to cast. Okay, we're gonna switch those out like immediately. Um, this is where I slowly start sorting. I was in denial about it, but I do in fact have to sort things in order to know where they are, in order to do anything with them. Multicolor, red, red, blue, 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 red, black, multicolor, multicolor, arrow helix, blue, multicolor. Black, black, multicolor. Blue, blue, multicolor. Black, red, black, black, red. But I don't think that one's going in. Multicolor. Blue, blue, red, blue, black, metallic rebuke, black. Oh, also Haunting Misery is a good like finale card. This is the sort of deck that I played. Fun fact about me, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to play Duel Monsters, as it were. And when I did, this is the kind of deck that I played where the strategy was to get basically as close to dead as you could manage, or as close to out of cards more that you could manage, and then just use all of that like damage that you had taken against others, really. Like it genuinely, the vibes were kind of, and now here's what you get by hitting me a bunch. You get to lose basically. Anyways, Thrill of Possibility is a red spell. Placing it, possibly not permanently, but we will for now be replacing it with abandoned attachments. So we're gonna go ahead and take this, move to sideboard as primary, and then we're going to take this, we're going to add it to, we're gonna add it both to discard and to draw, because discarding is kind of important to us. But we're going to take the possibility, we're going to move it over here. We're going to grab ourselves also because of the removal of bugs, um, largely, I think we need to go ahead and do myself a favor and just get rid of the bugs that are in the baby board, you know? Unless they're genuinely helpful on their own, which only a few of them are going to be. Um, like Serrated Scorpion, which wouldn't have even counted for bugs, is just helpful and cool. But I'll look at both of those. All three of those. Like, I actually can't seem to find a single one. Even though I know the Heartseeker is in here somewhere. I just can't find it. Um, I am gonna go ahead and put in some of those search cards. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add a few things in just because they're very helpful. We're going to start with Devourer of Memory, and we are going to add do I have add buff, I guess. Do I have one that's like looking into the graveyard? Graveyard, I suppose. And then we're gonna add some tutors. We're gonna start with. Oh, I need to go over here and I need to remove maybe board. I'm gonna set that as the main. Um, we're gonna go into here and we're gonna get in here. We are going to put it in as a tutor. And we're gonna leave it. Nope, because we also need to add that it interacts with our lovely friend there. And then we're also gonna add the tutor for Ezio. So this is also going to be a tutor. And then I'm gonna put it in assassin because I don't have one specifically for him. But that basically just gives us a few more options there than we would have otherwise. I'm gonna go ahead and remove basically all of my, and this does damage spells, or at least all the basic ones. Like, I don't need shock if I have mugging, right? There's pyro helix. Revolution might be okay, but you will notice that a lot of these that I'm looking at removing are like the red ones, basically. Um, which is unfortunate, but also just kind of the way that this deck functions. Very, like, with the exception of Underworld Breach, which is probably the best card in this deck by a pretty sizable margin. Not a lot of the other cards particularly matter as it comes to red. Blue is gonna have its counter spells. Um, Metallic Rebuke isn't particularly helpful compared to something like It'll Quencha. Because I don't really have artifacts that are gonna tap. That would be any more beneficial than, say, like I guess technically I could tap this and it would be slightly more beneficial, but all in all, there's not a lot that's going to interact with Metallic Rebuke. So I'm going to go ahead and move that to my sideboard as well. Set sideboard as primary. And I'm just going to keep like a good track of how many cards need to go in, assuming we're going with this. I might actually go to grid and then just go all the way down to the maybe board. Yours. Okay. Category of having at least one, having drawn 7 cards. By category. It's a good 21% chance I'm going to get one of the 3 cards associated with her. And that's one of my, like, my smallest category is Drain, which isn't a real category, by the way. It's a made up category. Whoever decided that was a category is a little silly. Yeah, we've got Anthem. I might have to add a free run. There's another 1 mana assassin that I really want to put in here, but I can't find a copy of it anywhere. Okay. Let's see. What are my big mana spells? There's 2 7 mana. Fear into the Best and Demon of Loathing. That player sacred. Okay. That one is really fun. It's true. Our 6 mana is going to be our Glorious Outlaw. Um, which basically turns it into a land enchantment. For two mana from your hand. Which means it is more helpful before it's a creature. Can I go in and set this to be an enchantment? Because that's just fun, really. See, Explosion of Riches is just it's kind of a fun card. Okay, we got. I guess really it's just those three, isn't it? Um, I have a lot of creatures. There's a lot of big creatures in here. The Forerunner costs as much as my other, like, ultimate card, basically. There is so much card draw in here. That's something I don't need to be worrying about card draw. Underworld Sentinel, also a good finisher. It's just as long as it's there and it just keeps churning things out, when it dies, everything comes back. There's a few other cards like that in here that are just like, and yeah, graveyard from anywhere on the battlefield or leaves the graveyard. Um, Sir Conrad is another good, just chipping away at your opponents sort of thing. This is going to be annoying to play against. Quite quite honestly. I could probably do with one more island, one more mountain, one more swamp. Let's see what else is in here. Honestly, this one's fine. This one's fine. A lot of my Undying cards, if I had enough of them, I would start adding Blight in. Let's see. See, what I really need is less 4 mana, more higher mana cards. Because when I get 4 mana, I'm going to cast my commander. When I get 6 mana, I'm going to cast my commander. So let's try for some high mana cards. Nim Devourer. +1/+0 for each artifact. That's immediately kind of disqualifying on the basis of this deck will never have enough artifacts for that to be helpful. So we'll go ahead and grab Nim Devourer and we'll move it out of here. We're also, I finally found Heartstabber Mosquito. After looking through a few too many times for it. Nim Devourer. We're gonna remove Nim Devourer. We're also gonna go remove the Mosquito if I can find it. Da, da, da. This is a card I just really like. I don't have this one, but it is such a fun card. What is the Heartstabber? Heartstabber's 4. Heartstabber being 4 mana is kind of crazy. Yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on. I think Um, we're going to add, I think, the land because the land is cool. It has a very specific use case, but adding more land is never not going to help, I don't think. So we're gonna just add it as a land, and I think that's really, I guess it's technically Gravedigg, but we're just gonna do that, and we're gonna put it in there, and we're gonna just leave it. Rona's Vortex is really tempting because it's a one mana do that again type card, which is always a good thing to have, right? Just a nope, nope, next time, please. Um, um, let's see. How many instants do I have? If I go to stacks and then instants are a majority of my things, but I still think water like Bender's water skin might be helpful, but I feel like it will be less helpful than it needs to be. I'm also wondering, should I set cards to be equal to their, like, I'm gonna add free roaming sequence because we're going with the assassins for sure. I'm gonna add Solstice Revelations would be better if I had more red because I don't have a lot of mountains. It'd be really good for mono red, I think. Um, but I don't think it's gonna be good here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Um, which is unfortunate because it's yet another red that I'm getting rid of. Um, I don't think Easterling Vanguard is actually going to end up being helpful. I have a lot of like destroy this card. Um, I don't think I have a lot of tokens anymore either. So I don't think Gothmog is going to be helpful either. Maybe Bitter Downfall will be, but that's not going to be helpful. Gothmog is what, 4 mana? That's the other thing. It's another 4 mana. 4 mana card. Did I even add Gothmog? Or I did. It's right here. The art's different. That's my excuse. I don't think either of those are going to be helpful. It's just a mass orcs, which is not bad, but not what I'm looking for. Graveshifter might be okay because technically it's a vampire and technically it's an assassin. And how many Anthem cards do I have? Anthem. I don't have them by categories. Yeah, so like it would get Death Touch until end of turn. It would get +1/+1. It would count for Feast of Blood. It would give this Death Touch, even though that one, I guess it's a vampire and a rogue. We do have quite a few rogues, although I do think that number is probably going to go down. This one, if it dealt combat damage, it would draw a card. It could tap, so this couldn't be blocked. Um, I, yeah, so it's not terrible. Plus, it has that extra effect. But this is good because it's life gain. It's life gain, a big creature. It is 4 mana, which is inconvenient, but it's also an assassin, so it counts for a bunch of assassin stuff. It counts for free running, which if I want to consistently set things as their free running cost, I want. Mm. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna set things to be their free running cost. Because I don't think as many things have free running as I think. Type. And we're gonna set things as their, if they have two effects, we're gonna set them as their default sort of effect, right? Mm, 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 mm. I think Daggercaster's probably leaving. Um, at the sideboard as primary, just because I don't think I need it. Essence Scatter. I think any instant or enchantment like this is going to be pretty helpful. I think for the same reason we removed Shock, probably going to remove Lightning Strike as well. Spell Blast is nice. Terminate is nice. Um, Notably, not a lot of free running yet. I also wonder if we should set things as their kicked cost. For the same reason, probably not going to have Revolution. Dredge the Mire is just fun no matter what. Okay, now we're going to go through and we'll go ahead and set these to their free running cost. So this is actually going to be 4, theoretically. That's just a big creature. Restart sequence is cheap like that. Like operating under the assumption that you will get free running, things get cheap. And they reasonably, if we stick with the assassins, that is what will happen. This basically costs at least 4. Um, let's be so real. Merger's not making it into that list of cards that we're keeping. There's so many different better cards for removal. Um, See, I'm too iffy. Mm. I will have enough cards that I will always have something to play. Mana is my limiting factor here. There's ramp, like for the first time, it also counts as everything for Anthem. Okay. Oh, that's a sorcery too. So we're gonna sideboard that one primarily. We're also probably not gonna end up keeping Explosion of Riches. Just because it's expensive and not really for anything official. We're gonna group these by mana value. And then I guess alphabet. I don't know how helpful that will be. I wonder how helpful that'll even be, considering just how much draw we have. Also, know we just put it in, but I don't know if Devourer of Memory is actually helpful. Can I go to categories and let's see, what are my stacks? This is not real. Life gain. Cool. Okay. Not enough creates tokens for tokens to matter as a category, so I'm removing it as a category. Only 3 things sacrifice, and one of them is not particularly what you're looking for when it comes to sacrifice. I have a lot of I think Near Death Stalker might also need to go. Sengir Vampire might also need to go. Okay, I think neither of our rogue anthem things are very good. It's like, oh, this 2 mana thing, it's a 2/2, can have Death Touch. This thing that is a 2/3. I guess it's draw, but like, I have so many ways to draw. Um, Siphon Mind is just better than Phyrexian Espionage. So we're gonna move Phyrexian Espionage to the sideboard. This is draw. Every time an assassin does combat damage to a player. This is draw. Every turn, consistently. Basically every turn. This is a ridiculous amount of draw. My commander is draw. My commander is not draw. All of this is draw though. Harpy is gone. I don't even know why I added it. I don't like it. That's why it's not in here. It's okay. Bitter Downfall is a good card. It's 1 damage. It's a 1 mana removal. This is 1 mana healing and a little tiny blocker. I feel like Day of the Black Sun will just kill everything, including my entire board, without exception. Desmond Miles, what do you do? Desmond Miles, you are, in fact, you're going in. Add Assassin, um, Anthem. Remain you there. I'm gonna delete maybe board. Anthem, Assassin, buff. You are a 2 mana icon. Harpy is removed. Hello, Desmond. I don't think I want Spell Bomb, like at all. Genuinely. So just fully removing you. I actually just don't like it, just conceptually. In the same vein, I'm probably gonna remove Scrapwork Mud for the same reason of just not vibing with you for that. You will burn or whatever. Actually, no, that's not true. I really like Scrapwork Mud. Not entirely true, but I can talk myself in circles all I want. I think Hired Blade might be bad, so we're gonna remove it. Hired Blade is 3 mana. Like, yes, it's a flash creature, but other than that, it's just another assassin. And while we are playing an assassin, we can't just make everything an assassin. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add in. Um, I'm going to get rid of Feed the Swarm from here because that says lose life. I thought it said gain life. That's the only reason it was there. Um, I think Professor. Let's see, but that's more draw. I could probably switch this out for the one I added earlier. But this is, in fact, draw and Gravedig. It's also just in a color combo that we need more of. So it's going to go in. Currently, technically, officially, in place of Spellbomb. I really need to choose between Vessel and Chalice, and I'm going to go with Chalice. So we are going to remove Vessel of Endless Rest, which is in our little tiny, itsy bitsy ramp section. We are going to get rid of Recursion and just toss it under Gravedig for ease of my understanding. Recursion. Gravedig. It's kind of just a blanket term. Where's our ramp? So we're going to get rid of the Vessel of Endless Rest, because while it is nice, it puts it at the bottom. And to a certain extent, something at the bottom of the deck is less useful than something in the graveyard. To replace that, I suppose, because we're going to keep the Chalice for sure at this point. We have so much removal. But I am counting Death Touch as removal. So, like, Feast of Blood is the cheapest removal we have. Bitter Downfall is going to be cheaper. Some of these are helpful. We have a lot of counters. We don't have a lot of creature removal that isn't Death Touch or making them sacrifice. Soul Shatter is pretty good removal. But yeah, a lot of it's Death Touch or making them exile or making them sacrifice, which is fine. But it wouldn't hurt from like one more. Now, I kind of want to add Vortex instead. We're not going to add Arcane Signet. Like, at all. We're also not going to add Mathemagics. I just really like Mathemagics. Um... More card draw if we want or need it. Now this is removal that I can get behind. More card draw. That's gonna be the thing. A lot of this is gonna end up being just, and you draw another card. I really want to include the egg. Is it expensive as all heck? Yes. It takes minimum 2 turns and 10 mana. But then you can sacrifice it and pull any card from your hand or graveyard and play it. Or any creature. Now, you may think this is really dumb and stupid. You would be correct. But also, who runs artifact removal? No one in my group, really. And it would be really funny. Let's see. What is my mana curve looking like? I do need some... I think I need some more expensive cards, generally. Finishing Blow is always nice. Epicure of Blood is a lovely life gain. So is Veto, which is the same but is for target instead of all. It also can buff things, so I think we're gonna go with Veto. Life gain, add category, buff. So we're gonna add our lovely friend Veto in there. Not doing that. Gonna go ahead and get rid of Towering Viewpoint. Uh, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Okay. Scrapwork what? What do you offer? Okay. To be entirely honest, I don't think any. There's nothing particularly wrong with these damage spells. I'm gonna get rid of Lightning Strike. I don't like Lightning Strike. It bothers me that it costs one more mana but only does one more damage than Shock. So it's out of here. Um, I also think that if I had to choose, um, I'm gonna go Shock over Mugging any day. Um, Mugging is. I just don't think it's the. Actually, no. I'm gonna keep Shock and Mugging. I'm not gonna keep Daggercaster. And I'm not going to keep Pyrohelix. I will keep Revolution. Okay, so we're removing entirely. I think I just have fully decided that's not going back in. Thrill Possibility gone. Daggercaster gone. Chandra's Revolution gone. No, wait. Control Z. Chandra's Pyrohelix gone. Revolution is maybe. Um, I just need to go grab some of those blue cards that I said are maybes, which is Metallic Rebuke um, and Phyrexian Espionage. Okay. Did I go through and get rid of Towering Viewpoint? Yeah, because I already got rid of Arcane Signet, but I now have 3 empty sleeves, which is nice because I definitely have 3 or more cards that I'd like to put in. Let's start with some of the ones that are like not colors that are already in there, right? So really just relearn, which is just a 3 mana. I want to do that one. I want to do that one again. Rana's Vortex. My mana base is looking weird right now. It really wants me to not have like any mountains compared to anything else. Is always the issue that I end up running into with this deck, which is why I got rid of some of the cards that were like, how many mountains do you have? That'll be really helpful. Spells you get from Grace card. I forgot that this one is just like a really solid card. And it's an enchantment creature, which I guess it just makes it more vulnerable. But also, if someone wastes their enchantment removal on an enchantment creature, that's really on them, isn't it? In a similar vein, I don't need Commander Sphere because I already have a 3 mana. I have 3 mana ramp. The only thing that I think maybe would justify Changeling Wayfinder is if I find more things that are like, if this, then this. But right now, there's not really a lot of those floating about. I also don't see it in the pile of cards, which is interesting because it should be in here. Whatever. Okay, let's see. Are there any? I know I've been going through just occasionally every once in a while and see if there's anything obviously should be removed. Soul Shatter is good because I think most often what it's going to do is get rid of any Planeswalker, or it'll get rid of just their biggest thing, both of which will be really good for me. Um, I think near near Heath Stalker is gonna go primary sideboard. Same with Cinder Vampire. Set sideboard is primary. Phoenix of Ash gets a buff, has escape. When it escapes, it gets a buff. Like it just Phoenix of Ash just gets big for fair. Yeah, I mean it's 4 and Exile 3 for a 3/3, and then it's 3 more for 2. Like it's not great, but it is interesting. Um, I think. See, I'm trying to figure out what are because I have so many different ways to draw so many cards. What is the likelihood I get draw? What's the likelihood I get to draw? In my starting hand, 15%, 55% that I will get at least one. Like I'm going to get draw. That's never not gonna happen particularly. Um, chance that I start with ramp is 8%, and ramp is now my smallest group, which is fair and fine. Actually, I might want to add some more 3 mana ramp. So I think I will add that changeling wayfinder. Um, it is ramp first and foremost, but it also happens to be assassin. Um, vampire and rogue, I think, is still a category. So we're gonna add the changeling in. Um, all and all, I think the changeling will be more helpful than the other options that have been removed. Um, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of Phyrexian espionage. Actually, it's it's been replaced with better, like bigger and better things. Um, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Okay, finishing blow, not happening. It's too expensive to justify itself. Um, there's a few of them that are like, oh, this is really obvious now that I stop and think about it for just the smallest amount of time. Or yeah, finishing blow, gone. I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab everything that is free running or has multiple things that it can do. Go in there. I think supernatural stamina is also probably a no. Grave shifter's a no. It's, I think, too expensive to justify itself again. I think oop, I just dropped a bunch of cards. That's okay though. Underworld Charger, I think, is also gonna go. Because it's kind of interesting, kind of fun, but overall, not the most helpful. Like, yes, to a certain extent, it is nice to know that you could just pull a creature out of your graveyard. It's nice when you don't have any creatures, but you need one. Yeah, I think I've forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, Underworld Charger is gonna be gone. Okay, let's see. Start expensive. I think we want these two. They're both vampires, which means they fulfill something. I don't think we want you. This is this is a kill card. Food mark is three, one, functionally, three. So we'll put you in the stack of things that get super discounted. Three, three, four, three, 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 four. Not you. Five, three, one, five, five, three, four, three, five, six, two, at least three, 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 three. Okay. Let's see. What can I pretty easily just look at and be like, ah, actually, that's a bad idea. Like, I looked at Phyrexian Spawn, I'm like, it's kind of cool. It costs 6 for it to actually do the thing that it's helpful doing. Same as like, I can't really justify Jurassic Egg. But that one I think might end up in anyways, just because of how much I like it. But like Day of Black Sun is a very good board wipe. Actually, I can get my things back a lot easier than everybody else can. And I don't have a board wipe in here yet. So maybe that's exactly what I need. I think we're gonna add Day of Black Sun. And we're I think it's literally just removal. It's really good removal, but it is kind of just removal. And it does cost 3 minimum, technically. So we're going to set it like that. I can't believe I talked myself into that. Oh, goodness. Same with, like, Bender's water skin is looking more and more convincing as time goes on. Um, okay, we're going to go in. We're going to add some life gain. Synergy. We're going to add that Brotherhood Patriarch. You get Assassin and also life gain. That's good. I guess it is 4 mana, which is kind of inconvenient thinking about it. We're going to also go ahead and add Mood Mark Painter because that's a finisher right there. That's a game over kind of card towards the end, and a pretty good here. Take some big chunk of damage right now sort of card. So where is our Mood Mark? Okay, let's lock in, get serious. Getting rid of Pirate Peddlers. It's a good thing that benefits from sacrifices, but I don't want to be sacrificing that much. I think Bender's Water Skin, the more I think about it, 1 mana of any color every turn that is or isn't mine is really helpful for the amount of instants. And I think that that is a much better use of 3 mana than, say, Metallic Rebuke. So we will fully be removing Metallic Rebuke from consideration and making it Bender's Water Skin instead. Speaking on things that are removed from consideration, for some reason, I don't have either of those vampires I decided to remove from consideration in my removed from consideration pile. Okay. Okay, I think Near Heath is gone. I barely wanted to include it at all when I first went through, even less so now that I'm cutting things. If I don't want it, then there's no reason it should be there. Brotherhood, it's big, but it's not helpful, I don't think. So we're gonna cut that. The ambushers. Um, Epicure of Blood, though, is a good payoff to a strategy. Brotherhood ambushers. Epicure of Blood is life gain incarnate, as in it gives us a reason to be gaining life. So I'm gonna put it under life gain, although really it is Anthem with life gain, and that's what I should be saying it is. But that's fine. Um, it's it's just ramp. That's it's another 3 mana ramp, which is feels bad to say, but I think it will end up fitting the best. Okay. Um, Vampire, I think can also pretty safely get out of there. It's it's just a big creature. And yes, big creatures are technically helpful. Big creatures that do things are going to be more helpful. I think Blood Glutton is going to be a more helpful creature of that cost because lifelink. Blood Glutton, you are going in, and you are a life gain category. Vampire. That's all you are, really. Um, I'm gonna get rid of Shock from consideration. If I was gonna keep Shock or Mugging, thinking about it, it's gonna be Mugging, not Shock. Because Mugging has a secondary effect, and like it being an instant. Shock being an instant isn't as helpful as I would like to pretend that it is. Um, Especially not compared to something like non-supernatural stamina. What's a better version of Shock, basically? Something that destroys for one. Bitter Downfall also loses them life. So we're gonna add this as removal. Nine goes. This is ramp, not discount. This is discount. Like for real, these two are discount. Okay. Let's see. What are we highest in 3 mana? Obviously, it always is. Um, I'm gonna get rid of the Troublemaker. Um, it's such an interesting card. It's not very helpful in this context. Uh, I feel like Resounding Scream is kind of where I'm leaning. I feel like there's a card similar to this in there already. Two hand, I don't need card draw, so the Harlequin can go. At this point, anything that exists just for card draw. I guess Chain Assassination is a good removal, but that Vortex is better. Um, I think Restart Sequence is better for the cost. And it's to the battlefield. What did I just get rid of? Did I put Bitter Downfall in? I did. So that goes in that sleeve. I think Chain Assassination is a no. And I think Order of Midnight is also a no for very similar reasons, mostly because Restart Sequence is just probably the pinnacle version. Because I'm not going to use that creature as it's intended. So we want um we're gonna get rid of this because I read it wrong and it's not actually as helpful as I thought it was. Um, I really want to put the egg in. Um, Cycle from Wander and Death. That kind of makes it a little helpful. Really, I need to cut 3-cost cards. Um, I'm gonna cut Sure-Footed Infiltrator because that's more card draw and it taps a rogue. And I'm gonna switch that with. I actually don't want Shadow Stinger. Thinking about it. I feel like Resounding Scream isn't very good. Looking at it, I feel like I have things that make people discard cards that are not like annoying for me to play around. Um, what was it that I was thinking about getting rid of? Sure-Footed Infiltrator. Yeah, I'll take Sure-Footed Infiltrator out and replace that with Restart Sequence. And I think I might also take Abandoned Attachments out again. No, I'm gonna leave that in unless I find another um, card in a color that isn't black. Scarabs. I also wonder if Naiad of Hidden Coves is as helpful as I want it to be. So I'm going to pull that out and we're going to look at my instance and how many would actually benefit from it. But Sure-Footed Infiltrator is out. To the point that Rogue might be out as a subtype if I go look at that other one. Throw Restart Sequence in. As Gravedigger, obviously. Stats. How big is my Gravedig section? What is our other, like, rogue that relies on other rogues. Expedition Skulker, which is a 2/2 that might have Death Touch. Or I could replace it with, uh, let's see, what costs 2 or less? I don't think I need any more Gravedigg. How likely am I to get Gravedigg in the first draw? Gravedigg. 62%. I could add more. 68. 62. Like, I'm going to get it. What was I looking at? Our Expedition Skulker. For Serrated Scorpion, my eye's been on. I've already got ways to get Death Touch. So I'm going to remove Expedition Skulker and add in my Serrated Scorpion. My little baby. At this point, I think I want to start removing cost where possible. So, like, moving from that 2 cost to this 1 cost. I think I'm going to go, I'm going to put mugging back in. And I will see what it looks like with I'm gonna put all of these sideboard ones back in and see how the distribution works. Actually, I'm gonna remove Explosion of Riches. It's just a really expensive draw and burn. Sideboard as primary. Remove. But I will put Unres Revolution back in there. And with that empty spot from this massive 6 cost red card, we will put in another something. Categories. Go back to grid and back to our maybe list. We are using Gravedigg instead of Recursion now. Oh, right. We put my lovely Serrated Scorpion in, which is entirely life gain and nothing else. And that's okay. And fine, actually. It's really hard not to just throw more 3 costs in there. Removal. What kind of removal is this? Death Touch, counter. Like minuses until end of turn. Destroy. Death Touch. Everything. Basically, or anything. Destroy. Counter. Destroy. They have to sacrifice. Destroy. Counter. Exiles. Okay, we're getting rid of Doomfall. Doomfall. We've got Soul Shatter, counter, damage. That has Death Touch. We're also gonna get rid of Torment of Scarabs because one of those is just not fun, and another one is kind of just boring, really. Instant or sorcery with mana value of 1 from your library. Okay. Instant or sorcery with mana cost 1. Like mugging, weapon surge. Bitter Downfall, Spell Pierce, and really only 3 of those count. So we're going to remove Micromancer as well. But we are finally going to add Relearn. Which is just Gravedigg, I guess. We're also going to add that Vortex in, finally, because I really like it as a removal. And it's Planeswalker removal, which Planeswalkers aren't common, but it's nice to be able to deal with them, I've learned. What, I'm 2 short? And I have, how many in the main board? 18? If Midnight was a no. Voracious Vampire is gonna go. Vampire Aristocrat has gotta go. Or, yeah, Aristocrat. Aristocrat. Pestilent Cathari is gonna go. I think Erotic Blight Priest is gonna have to go in. I don't think we need Wander in Death, but we'll see. What we don't need, if we do have Wander in Death, or even if we don't, is Recover, because Wander in Death is better, and we don't need the card draw. Gourmand calls to me. Gravedigg. What have we got? Okay, we don't need Blood Beckoning. And if we're going to have Heartless Act, I want to switch it for a different destruction or removal card. So we're not gonna have the super sad card, which is probably for the best, all things considered. Um, Oathsworn Vampire is not very good. We're gonna skip over all of the 3 cost, which basically leaves us with Anointed, which is probably the best of these options. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. It's a vampire. It is an Anthem vampire, which is nice. Now, how many vampires do we truly have? One can never really know. 8. The answer is 8. We have 8 vampires. Which means, statistically speaking, to have 2 vampires in our first hand is like 8%, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happens that many times. Stacks. Also, if we go by type, I think we probably have more vampires and have done something wrong. Are you marked as vampire? Yes. um. We're gonna get rid of Scrapwork Mutt. Do you count as a vampire? Yes. Okay. Do you count as a vampire? You should. Maybe we don't have as many vampires as I thought we did. Vampire. Are you set up as an assassin? Yes, okay. So it's just the vampires I forgot to set up. Did I set you up as a vampire? Okay. It's just a vampire. I forgot. 2 vampire I forgot to set up. See, I knew I missed some. How often do we get a vampire in our first hand now? Or 2 vampires, rather. 13%. 1 vampire? 50%. What's that? Turn 3? How often will we have 2? Okay, we're good. We're good on vampires. And that number is going to go up. I don't want morbid curiosity. I want. Okay. How many on entry effects do I have in my creatures? Creatures on entry, on entry. It dies. Yes. No, because getting exiles it died. That doesn't have an entry. I don't really want this one. I want the other, but I don't have it like on me. This one's nice to have back for like a turn, but it doesn't haste. That's the thing. Like if it doesn't have haste, it doesn't have an on entry effect. Okay, I just don't have a lot of on entry, so while this would be useful in some situations, I don't think it'll be useful enough consistently enough because it would rely largely on other people's on entry effects. Because all of my on entry effects are like you gain 1, opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, right? Mind Drain, Frightful Return, Bloodletters. Okay, it's flying. It's a 2/2. Brain is nice. Resounding Scream. Looking at it, just not very helpful. Okay, what's that? There's 7 more options. So the question becomes, can I remove from the mana value of 4 or higher 7 cards? The answer is probably no. I don't think I want. I thought about it. I don't think it's actually going to be terribly helpful. I have my big hitters. Um, I have my I have my deal damage to things sort of cycle. Um, this is my big. This is one of my. I have a lot of big options for like, and everything is back now, and that's really what we're going for. Is like occasionally pulling things out, but really waiting for that moment where just everything can come back all at once. And then that, hopefully, if Sir Conrad is there, will just burn through your life. Because to each opponent, Sir Conrad is. Um, Equally as viable is just doing life gain. Spell Blast is just great. Demonic Embrace is +3/+1, gives it Demon. Pay 3 mana and 3 life to pull it from the graveyard just over and over again. Exile a bunch of cards, do a bunch of damage. Um, like it's not subtle what this deck is trying to do. Okay, I think I don't like Mind Drain particularly. I don't think the Bloodletter is as helpful as the other options here. Yes, am I keeping the egg specifically because I really, really want to have the egg? Yes, of course I am. Of course I am. Look at it. It's a little dinosaur egg. It hasn't been reprinted since 95 or 99 maybe. I guess 2011. I have the 95 edition, so I have Chronicles here. But it's not been printed in forever because it's a bad spell. You know? Do I have this under ramp? Okay, so realistically, I actually 2 mana ramp. So I'm going to be using its 2 mana thing much more than the rest of it. I'm going to set it to 2 mana. See how that changes my curve. Not by much. It does keep me firmly in the like 2 to 4 range with some outstanding exceptions. Oh, but I could really use some performance. Sacrifice. If you do, each opponent discards. Graveyard to hand. No. Transfer for return. Not happening. So I've got 3 to choose from. I can get one of them in because I have one more sleeve. I've missed something. which is delightful. Or I've dropped the sleeve somewhere. Equally as likely as me having typed something in wrong onto the website is me just having lost the physical sleeve. Or, like, put it in my pocket or something. Nope. I'll have to look later. Actually, no, I have to look now, don't I? Okay. If we go by color tag, then mana value. Nope, not color tag. Go by color. I'm sure there's one that I removed that I didn't mean to. Truly is the only explanation I can think of. Okay, let's go ahead and split these into, there's multicolored, there's colorless, there's black, a lot of black, colorless, uh, red, blue is gonna go here, there's my multicolored. I think that counts colorless. I removed scrapwork mud, didn't I? Is that what it is? Yep, that's what it is. Okay, that makes my life a little easier. So now we can go back to value and down here, and I can add two things instead of one. It's choosing a little bit easier. Because the question now becomes wander in death or egg. And if I look at it super logically, there's no way I could choose egg. Like, Marauding Blight Priest is in as soon as that's an option, without regrets. Add category. You are a vampire, and you do you are technically Anthem with life gain. That's another thing I'm gonna have to go back through and do, is just go back and everything that has life gain, some of those are Anthem for life gain. I also need to go through and look at some red and some blue. But I think this will put this put the deck in a place where it is playable. I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at red and blue, because I think really the issue is I don't want either of these if I can help it. Destroy target artifact. It's a 3 mana though. Card draw on the blue end of this. There's just a lot of card draw. What about on the blue red end of this? See, this is where I think we're gonna find the things we're looking for. Invert polarity is always delightful. Ionize is always good. Battle Mage Captain, maybe? Okay, I have three more things in contention, which I think means that both Wander in Death and, unfortunately, the, the Triassic Egg. Can you hear the tragedy in my voice? Does it come across how much I really want to put the egg in the deck anyways? I might still. There's technically nothing stopping me from putting the egg in anyways. But onto the main board, we're gonna put invert polarity, um, ionize, um, and more Battle Mage Captain. Now, I think Balmor Battle Mage Captain was like in my head, oh, this is perfect. And then I thought about it for a second, and really, I don't think it is. Just on the basis of like trample is good if you have a bunch of big guys. I think to at a certain extent, trample will be fine, but more often than not, it won't be. And that's all it does. So we're gonna get rid of that pretty immediately. I know I just put it there. Ionize, invert polarity. We're gonna have to go back to categories because these are fully just counter spells, which makes them removal under my definitions. Now, some of these, they're both three. They're both three cost, which means it's gonna be like, is it cheaper? I can make things more expensive. Actually, no. Almost all of these are going to be objectively better than like the rest of them. I'm gonna get rid of Essence Scatter for Ionize, or invert polarity rather. And I will get rid of abandoned attachments for Ionize, I think, because I've been talking about getting rid of it for a while, and I think now is the time. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of Assassin Den. No, no, I'm not. I'm gonna get rid of Essence Scatter and Abandon Attachments for Invert Polarity and Ionize. And then I will do. And then I will realize something joyous about this day, which is that I have managed to somehow accidentally make room for the egg. Just objectively not the kind of card you're looking for, I'd say, in any deck, really. But especially not this one. But you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you really want something and then it comes true for you, in a way that makes you wonder if it was subliminal and you just like made it happen. What did I just remove? The one that isn't Abandoned attachments. Okay, it's time to add the most ridiculous card. And that's okay. It probably won't stay for long, but it is fun that it's here, you know? And then we're gonna go ahead and put Ionize in. It is removal first. And then I guess technically burn, although burn is not something we're keeping track of anymore. And then this is fully just removal. It's really a counter spell. That's fine. Let's go by type real quick. As you'll see, what we really don't have a lot of is enchantment, which is good because I don't think we have a single way to get an enchantment back. We also don't have a single way to get an artifact back, but that's like 10 out of 100 cards that we can't get back. 11, I guess. Okay. 40 cards that we can't get back in some way because I don't think we have any ways to get land back either. I think it's gonna want us to switch a mountain for a swamp, which will put us at 4, which I don't really like. What's that? Only 4 ways to get red. And then I guess all of our colors swapping and other stuff, which I would argue goes the other way around and means that we should actually leave it the same. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to play the deck a lot. Sorry if you know me. You will be playing against what I can only call the jankiest, most infuriating thing I have ever made. But once that's over, we will be at a point where everything is awesome. Or something. Should I have leaned further into one theme? Absolutely yes. Is it going to be a big deal? Not at the tables I play at, particularly. Like, I guess if I'm playing against like a few very specific people or a few very specific decks that they run, then it might become an issue, but really I don't see that happening. We're gonna move back to just chatting while I close out my now excessive amount of tabs. I will probably end up posting access to this deck list. I do have it set as bracket 3 because technically it can't be any lower because it has a game changer in it. But, you know, that's fine. Now I'm gonna hang out for a tiny little bit as I try very hard to shuffle these cards together for the next time I play and realize that I have either fully shuffled the commander in or left her in the box. I left her in the box. I think. I'm gonna have to clean all this up at some point. Probably not today, just because it's about 10 and I do be needing to get ready for tomorrow, as it were. This deck needs work, so if I ever want to stream this again, I'll probably do that. I didn't realize how long I've been streaming. This is much more akin to the length that I used to be streaming. If I had it set up, there'd probably be a camera pointed towards the actual cards for this one. But, I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things. This has been much longer than normal. So I got a bunch of notifications, like, in the middle of my stream that I just didn't end up checking for fear of what they might be, but I'm gonna actually look at those now. Who's excited to see what's happening? Oh my gosh. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Go to profile. Okay. I think it's at most probably one person sitting there lurking right now. Thank you for the person who's there, if you are. Thank you for anyone who is watching this, if the VOD ends up up. I guess ends up up is the correct thing to say, but also probably not. Like, if it ends up being visible to you, thanks for being here. If you made it to the end while I'm rambling in front of our lovely Just Chatting art, then you win a cookie. I don't know. If I end up putting them out on YouTube, let me know that I did by leaving a comment. And if I didn't, yell at me in my Discord about putting it up on YouTube because I did say that I'd start putting VODs on YouTube. Um, let's see, what else have we got as just things that I should go over now that I'm trying to get back in the groove of things? Yeah, I don't know when next stream will be. Hopefully it'll be soon. It will probably be me playing a video game or talking about tabletop games like I had intended to do weekly before last semester really got me. Um, yeah, I also might end up playing some more Minecraft. I am currently playing on a Minecraft server fairly consistently, although, again, it gets more difficult as soon as my breaks are done. So we will see where that all gets us. That was rambling for like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone go. If there were more people here, we'd probably raid out at this point, but um, really, there's not a point right now. Yeah. With all that said, and very much more on my future, knocking on wood, see you sometime. Bye bye.